Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, you guys, I do have this special video. I am basically just doing a basic full set on myself with some cover rose acrylic. So as you can see, I had just pushed back the cuticle and I kind of got rid of this little dead cuticle that was getting on my nerves, so I kind of removed it, and here I am taking my sanding band with my KUPA drill, going around the cuticle area on the nail to just remove any excess dead cuticle on that may be stuck on the nail plate or on the skin. And then you want to take your buffer and remove the rest of the shine off the rest of the nail. I got this tip off Noonie, and it's basically so that you don't go taking off too much nail. So that's going to be a new technique I will be using, so wish me luck on that. So now I'm going to use these little tips, and these tips are actually from let's see, BU, and they're called Instant Perfection Stiletto. They do have a great C curve, so that's why I'm going to be using them, but they are going to come out shorter. So let me just show you the picture of the nails that it's going to end up looking like. And I am using my KDS glue, you guys. All of the stuff that I am using will be put down in the description box down below, and if it's not there just as of yet, please give me a little time. I am super busy. I don't know when I'll be able to do it, but I'm not gonna take more than a day to put it up. But yeah, you guys, if anything, I'll try to put it up later after this video is uploaded, a couple hours after, because I do want to make sure that if you guys like anything that I'm using in my videos, you guys can go ahead and look in the description box down below to find the product. I do try to find the exact product and the exact link of where I bought it. Sometimes on Amazon, I've had a couple comments of people say that basically the link is not, well, it's available, but it's like not showing that the product is available anymore. Sometimes that happens on Amazon and they just run out of products. So yeah, so if anything, I do try to find another one close to what I bought. But anyway, guys, I am showing you a little bit of my right hand because I am right-handed, so it is a little awkward for my non-dominant hand to be doing my right dominant hand. But as you guys can see, this is how I apply the tips. I just put some glue on the nail bed or the well of the tip, depending on my feel for that day. And this one is a little bit too big on the sides, but I didn't want to go up another size because it would have been way too big. So all you really have to do is take your file and kind of etch the sides, and it should fit perfectly like this one. So these tips, I do love them, but sometimes when I do like certain ballerinas, I don't think everybody likes C curve, so it is good to ask your clients or look up yourself if you want to do a C curve nail. I personally like them on these short square nails. I am going to be doing short square nails, so to me the C curve looks better on short square nails. But when it comes to coffin, I don't really like the C curve. I've noticed that like in the UK, I think it's more popular, or I don't know if it's just because I watch nails with Christy Miki, I believe that's her name, and she always has like a very pinched coffin nail, but I don't really like that look on myself personally. But if your client does, and you know, they are a great type of tip to have in hand. It is really good to always have different types of tips, you guys, because maybe your client wants something different. So yeah, it's always good to have extras. But I was just measuring my nail tips to make sure side by side, nail to nail, to make sure that they were evenly done. I do like to take my hand file, guys. Like I said, I'll leave all of the stuff in the description box below if you guys want to know where I got these files. But the thing I like about using a hand file on me or even on my clients is you get to be a little bit more careful. It feels like you're being a little bit more tougher on it, but you're actually not. You're actually being a little more careful because you can kind of feel your basic weight on the nails when you're filing them. But it is important. This part is really important to blend the nails. It makes it look more natural, and when you're adding the acrylic, it's actually applied on a lot more smoothly, and it doesn't give you a weird bulky look to it. Do not touch the nail bed though, you guys. If you guys can notice, I'm trying my best to just stay on the actual fake tip. And this is the buffer. I am basically kind of etching the sharp ends because sometimes you can even cut yourself with buffers, surprisingly. But yeah, just be careful with that. I did etch my file as well, and by etch I mean I kind of removed the sharpness from the edges. Take another file and just rub it against that one and just remove it like you're sanding the sides down. So here I'm shaping, and this is going to be basic shaping because we're just doing square. I have been getting a lot of comments to why I don't do short nails, and to be honest, you guys, I just love long nails. And the other part is I am getting my clients back. I am going back to work, and I do have a almost 2-year-old. She's still 1, but she'll be 2 in July. And I hurt myself so many times wrestling with my daughter trying to change her diaper. I hurt my nails so many times that 2 of my nails have basically got damaged at the free edge, like the very free edge, and it hurts so bad. So when I did remove the last set, I noticed it, and I told myself that I needed to recover those 2 nails on my right hand. It's basically my pointer and my middle finger on my right hand, and I just want to do something shorter so I can prevent myself from getting any more little accidents and hurting myself. So we are going to be keeping them short for a while, but I am going to be showing you guys how you can just keep a cover or a clear underneath your nails and basically change up the look to your nails with just gel. I really don't work, obviously I do nails, but I don't do a lot of like, well, technically I wear gloves when I clean most of the time, and sometimes I don't. But because I do wear gloves at least half the time, I kind of protect my nails, so it doesn't matter with the gel polish. Some people have problems with the gel polish coming off because they touch so many chemicals when they clean or their job. Like if you clean for a living, then it's better to get like a next gen, a dip powder, a colored acrylic instead of the gel on top, depending on how rough or if you even use gloves working. But yeah, I am using Nuni Torres's primer to prime my nails, you guys. The cover acrylic that I'm using is Buy Me a Secret. It's the cover rose. I love it so much. And the monomer is by KUPA. And the brush is from my local nail supply store, you guys. I know I get a lot of questions of where I get it. I am going to try to find one online so that you guys can basically easily access the brushes that I use. So we'll see how that goes, because it's really hard with online shopping sometimes. You guys know how that goes. So I did start with my thumb, you guys, by applying the acrylic, and I just went out of frame, and I just fast forwarded to my pointer so that you guys can see a better look. So I did grab the bead and I placed it where the free edge of the natural nail is and the fake nail, and I just started basically sweeping it down. Feathering it down is a better term because that kind of can tell you how much weight you're supposed to put on it. You got to be very light as a feather. At least that's how I see it. And that other bead that I put under the cuticle area, you see how I try to put it close but not too close? That's actually not going to be my cuticle bead though, even though it looks like it was, but I actually didn't go all the way towards the cuticle. So I am going to add another bead so you guys can see how to get closer to the cuticle without touching the cuticle, because if it touches, then that is how you get lifting, you guys. I'm just patting it down to kind of like even it out before I add another bead, because that is how you get a better foundation. So here is my other bead that goes towards the cuticle. As you guys can see, I am patting it down, patting it to the sides, but not touching the cuticle. And I'm kind of using the little tip of my brush as a barrier to not touch the acrylic onto the cuticle area. And I'm kind of going into those corners to make sure there's nothing in there. And then if you want to, you could also go around the acrylic like I just did there to make sure that there's nothing on the skin, because skin does have natural oils, you guys. So if the acrylic does touch your skin, it's just going to start lifting it from that little corner, and then that corner is going to start lifting the rest of the nail, if that makes any sense. So as you guys can see, the beads that I'm picking up, certain beads I wipe off excess acrylic. Oh, sorry, that was my phone. So certain beads I wipe off excess acrylic. Most of the time I do that, and then if I think I picked up too dry of a bead, then I won't wipe it off. And I've noticed sometimes if it's too wet, then I'll just either not use it, or I use it and I kind of regret it, because then it's like, ooh, those wet beads are not fun beads to play with. So try to play with your beads, you guys, if you're having trouble with the consistency. Also, always remember that the temperature of your room is really important. You don't want it too cold. It'll be too liquidy. And if you have your room way too hot, then your acrylic is going to set way too fast. And yeah, so also, if you guys can see, I really don't have a certain method when it comes to my application. I kind of just like to work from the bottom down and then the cuticle area, and if the free edge needs it, it usually does for me. I just add a little bit on the free edge.
I used to think I had plenty of dreams and light in my life, so my glass was half empty. But you came along and showed me how to love without limits, to have a good time. My glass was always half empty, but now you're in my life. We're far away from the city lights, so small under the night sky. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out. Even after all of these years, you still look at me with the same love. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out. You could never wear me out. We have come all this way, love, so I don't see us stopping now. My life's an adventure, 'cause you came along and showed me how to love without limits, to have a good time. Now my life's an adventure, and you're the reason why. We're far away from the city lights, so small under the night sky. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out. Even after all of these years, you still look at me with the same love. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out. You could never wear me out. Far away from the city lights. We're far away from the city lights, so small under the night sky. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out. Even after all of these years, you still look at me with the same love. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out. You could never wear me out. You could never wear me out. It's getting closer to midnight. I try to get closer to you, drinking courage from my red cup now. I will soon make a move. Ooh, I can taste it, the bittersweetness of taking a shot, a risk worth taking. If it's a shot of love, baby, I adore you. Maybe I adore you. Yeah, I'm feeling higher and higher. I'm up on cloud nine. Baby, I adore you. I try to focus on breathing.
now that the acrylic is dry, I'm just taking my hand file and I am going on the free edge area first and going into the corners to make sure if there's any acrylic stuck on the sides, which there always is, you can remove it doing this, going at an angle and figuring it out. Basically just kind of making sure there's nothing under there. It's really hard to explain how to shape nails, to be honest, you guys, because a lot of the times I feel like me learning how to shape nails was basically more trial and error. And I've noticed that basically with the free edge, you want to try to get it as straight as you can, because you may think it looks straight from your view until you turn it around and it's your client's view, and then you see what they're going to be looking at. So what you want to do if you're doing your client is turn them around, turn their hand around and visualize to see if it looks too rounded. Then you can just take your file and kind of go at an angle and remove the curviness, I guess you can say. I kind of use my file in so many different ways when it comes to shaping, as you guys can see. So I kind of do this motion right here, like kind of side to side, and then I turn the file to another side and kind of, how do I explain that? Like I go vertical and then I also use the file horizontally. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like this vertical way I'm doing it really helps though. So with the right hand, I'm also using the hand file, and I'm kind of going around the cuticle area because I kind of saw something stuck onto the skin. So I kind of just already used the file to do that. I don't like to use the actual drill when it comes to my right hand because I always feel like I cut myself because of my non-dominant hand working on the dominant hand. But this is a medium drill bit, I believe, because right now I'm using mostly the fine carbide bits, but this is a medium carbide bit, and I did get this off of Amazon, and they are the Pana bits, and I love them so much. They work really great. But I do like to go around the cuticle area first to remove any excess acrylic that may be stuck onto the nail. As you guys can see, I go from one side to the other, and then I also simultaneously like to take the drill and start removing excess acrylic that may be underneath, and then also doing the surface of the nail, basically looking for lumpiness or unevenness. And then as you guys can see, I turn it to a certain side too, like right here. I do it to this side so that I can see a lot better if there's bulkiness, if there's too much on one side, if it's uneven. This drill will help you basically even out your little imperfections to perfect the foundation of the nail, so that when you're done you can apply your gel and it'll all look more even and cleaner. So as you guys can see, this is me using the hand file on my right hand, like I was explaining a little before. I don't like to use a drill. Like I said, I feel like I cut myself more basically, because it's really hard when it's not your dominant hand. It's obviously your non-dominant hand for a reason. You can't dominate it properly. So what I like to do is I feel like I have more control with the hand file. Just make sure you guys etch the sides, because you can cut yourself like this as well. So make sure you etch the sides so that you can do this without worry of cutting your fingers. And yeah, I go kind of inside, like you're kind of using it as your drill bit, but obviously it's not electric, so it's kind of like you're doing it manually, obviously. Before electric files, these were the things they used to use back in the day. At least that's what I was told by women that did nails in the 90s. So that must have been crazy to do nails when I was a kid. So yeah, you guys can't see me doing it here, sorry. But I am taking this buffer, this purple buffer that I get off my local nail supply store at Cosmoprof. I get them in a pack of 10, I believe. And I'm just going on over the nails, removing any debris on the cuticle area that may be still stuck on there. Even though I used the drill to remove it, sometimes it's still hanging on there, so just go around as as best as you can and go underneath the nails. And this is just me taking some alcohol and putting the cuticle oil on. So the alcohol helps kind of cleanse the nails, or you can ask your clients to go wash their hands, whatever you think is best. So this is just me using my cuticle oil that I made myself and kind of like massaging that in there. And I felt like these nails will look great with my Julia ring, so I just placed it on there, you guys. I love this ring. It is kind of big, but I love it so much. But anyways, guys, these are the nails. This is the finished product and I love it so much. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. So please stick around, subscribe to my channel, you guys. I have so many videos to come. So sorry I haven't been posting lately. So much going on, you guys. But that's pretty much it, you guys. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I love you guys so much and take care.
The bittersweetness of taking a